In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace be upon you all. This is an English session, grade 8. The title of this unit are Unit 6 lessons 4, 5, and 6. The title of this unit is Friends Abroad. Friends Abroad. Revision on the last lessons. Choose the correct answer. During the holiday, I space in London. During the holiday, I space in London. Will stay or will be staying or going to stay. Will stay or will be staying or going to stay. We use the future continuous to talk about an action will be in progress in the future. بنستخدم الحصة اللي فاتت قلنا بنستخدم المستقبل البسيط للتعبير عن حدث يستمر في وقت محدد في المستقبل. At specific time in the future. During the holiday. During the holiday, this is a specific time. Will be staying. The correct answer is will be staying. Number 2, share your personal information with people you know. Share your personal information with people you know. شارك أو تشارك معلوماتك الشخصية مع أشخاص تعرفهم. The correct answer is always. We can say never or don't. Number 3, don't phone Ali between 7 and 8 o'clock tomorrow. He space his homework. He will be or will be doing or does. There is a specific time in the future, 8, 7 and 8 o'clock. يبقى بنتكلم عن وقت محدد في المستقبل. يبقى الإجابة الصحيحة the correct answer will be doing. The correct answer will be doing. The future continues. A pilot space wear a uniform to fly with his plane. Mustn't or shouldn't or must. We use should to give advice. Must to express necessity. The correct answer is must. للتعبير عن ضرورة. A new vocabulary, journey, journey, repeat after me, journey, interesting, interesting, traditional, traditional, opposite, opposite, huge, huge, delicious, delicious, and fantastic, fantastic. Adverbs, new structures, adverbs of frequency اللي هو ظروف التكرار. An adverb is a word in generally. An adverb is a word which we use to describe a verb. It comes after the verb. يبقى الظرف هي كلمة بصفة عامة، الظروف بصفة عامة تستخدم لوصف الفعل وتأتي بعده. For example, my father talked angrily. يبقى تحدث بغضب. Angrily is an adverb. It describes the verb talked. Okay? The car is moving slowly. Slowly is an adverb. It describes the verb. An adverb is a word which we use to describe a verb. ده بصفة عامة. Adverbs of frequency ظروف التكرار. For example, always, usually, often, normally, generally, and rarely or sometimes, rarely, نادرا, seldom, hardly ever, and never. They are the adverbs of frequency. They help you explain how many times you do an activity or how often something happens. How many times you do an activity, كم مرة بتأدي فيهم الشيء, or how often something happens. Always is used when the action happens all the time. Always is used when the action happens all the time. عند حدوث الشيء طوال الوقت بنستخدم always. For example, he always studies English. Again, always is used when the action happens all the time. لما بيحدث طوال الوقت. Usually, often we can say often or often. Normally are used when the action happens many times. عند حدوث الشيء مرات عديدة. يبقى الفرق بينهم always دي معناها دائما. Usually, often, normally when the action happens many times. عند حدوث الشيء لمرات عديدة. For example, she usually helps her mother. Generally is used when the action happens more often than not. لما بيحدث في كثير من الأحيان. He, for example, he generally does his homework sometimes is used when the action اللي هي معناها أحيانا is used when the action happens less often not that often. حدث يحدث مش في كثير من الأحيان أو ليس في كثيرا من الأحيان. For example, I sometimes play tennis. Okay? Rarely, seldom, hardly ever are used when the action happens a few times. مرات قليلة جدا. Rarely, seldom, hardly ever are used when the action happens a few times. For example, they rarely come to the zoo. Okay? Never is used when the action doesn't happen at all. Never is used when the action doesn't happen at all. لما الشيء لا يحدث على الإطلاق. He never visits his uncle. Again, always is used when the action happens all the time. عند حدوث الشيء طوال الوقت. Usually, often, normally are used when the action happens many times. مرات عديدة. Generally is used when the action happens more often. Sometimes is used when the action happens less often, not that often. Rarely, seldom, hardly ever are used when the action happens a few times. Never is used when the action doesn't happen at all. Adverbs of frequency we can use them at the beginning of the sentence or between the subject and the verb, or at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. We can say always he studies English, or he studies English always. Again, he always studies English. He studies English always, or always he studies English. She usually helps her mother. Okay, she usually helps her mother, or she helps her mother usually, or at the beginning of the sentence. They must come after verb to be. For example, he is usually happy. He's usually happy. Adverbs of frequency must use after or must use them after verb to be. بيجوا بعد verb to be، لكن ممكن في الجملة العادية يجوا بين الفاعل والفعل أو في بداية الجملة أو في نهايتها. Goodbye. See you next session.